Good morning from the Water Utilization Learning Center. My name is Brian Olson. I want to talk to you today about some research that was done over by a colleague, Brian Buller, over in Beatrice, Nebraska, that looks at dryland corn planting depth by population. And so uneven corn emergence and uneven distribution of plants can result in reduced yield potential. Planter setup is critical first step to successfully establishing corn yield potential. The objective of this demonstration was to illustrate the importance of properly adjusted planting equipment for seeding depth and recommended seeding rate to maximize stand establishment and yield potential. So this is the research details of the study. We've got again, it was done over in Beatrice, Nebraska on a silty clay loam. Previous crop was soybeans. This was planted no-till. Planted on April 24th and harvested on September 27th. 200 bushel yield potential, 25,000 seeding rate, and 30,000 seeding rate. So this is a demonstration. I typically like to have replications in the study, but I do know that there's lots of questions out there by our farmers on the impact of seeding depth on yield potential. And so Brian did a nice job with this one replicated demonstration to show what there could be some issues out there with these different seeding depths. And so used a 109-day relative maturity corn product and then two 113-day RM products. So each corn product was planted at two populations and at four seeding depths. So we had the 25 and 30,000 seeds per acre, and then the seeding depths of 1.75, 2.25, and 3-inch seeding depths. And this 3-inch seeding depth, for most farmers, 2.25 is really 2.25 is really where they're going to be at. 3 inch is obviously a little deeper. That 1 inch, 1.25, or 1.75 is a little more shallow. So the trial was planted with a precision equipped planter with Delta Force. Each entry consists of 6 30-inch rows by 220 feet long. So even though this was a single site demonstration, we did have some long rows for the plots, 220 feet, and the yield was captured with precision planting, yield sense, and climate field view. Field received 13.7 inches of total precip from planting date to harvest date. And then this is what some of the corn look like. So the left rows of center were planted at 30,000 seeds per acre at a 3-inch depth. The right rows of center were planted at 25,000 seeds per acre at a 1-inch depth. So here are the results for the study, and again, these yields are average across 3 corn products for each of the different populations. But what I really want to focus on is what the average yield was across these different populations. So when we come over here at the 1-inch seeding depth, we had a yield of 195 bushels. So again, that's across 3 corn products and 2 populations. The average was 195 bushel. At 1.75, 195 bushel. Then you get up to 2.25, 205 bushel, and at the 3-inch, 202. So clearly a little bit deeper seeding depth made a big difference there of realizing another 7 to 10 bushels in yield by getting it to over 2 inches deep in the soil. So 2.25 to 3 inches is somewhere that be a good setup for that planter in order to make sure that we're getting the most out of the corn that we're putting in the ground. So here are some pictures from the study, and what you'll see is a delay in maturity with respect to seeding depth. And so up in that left-hand corner, you'll see here at the 1-inch seeding depth, we can see the corn has farther along in maturity. Then you go 1.75. At the 2.25, you see more green out here, and you definitely see more green plants in that 3-inch depth. So there was a definite impact here as you had that shallower planted corn you saw more senescence earlier in the growing season from that corn compared to the corn that was planted at those deeper depths. So in this trial, the highest yield was achieved with a seed depth of 2 1/4. When averaged across all 3 corn products, at the higher population, yield increased as seeding depth increased across entries. Emergence was faster in the 1-inch seeding depth. However, yield inconsistency across corn products also increased. Senescence was also impacted with seeding depth as moisture stress caused shallower rooted entries to mature quicker than deeper planted entries, especially at 30,000 seeds per acre. So again, this demonstration, and I do want to stress this is a demonstration, single rep, illustrates that planter setup for proper seeding depth is combined with following recommended planting populations for a given corn product and area can help maximize yield potential. Basically, you got one time to get it in the ground the right way on the right planting date. So make sure that you get out there and get that planter adjusted properly in order to make sure that you are getting the seeding depth that you anticipate for the soil conditions. Again, want to thank Brian Buller over in that Beatrice, Nebraska area. He's a TDR with Bear Crop Science for submitting this report, but it does a nice job of illustrating some of those things you really got to take into account when setting up your planter. So with that, we'll talk to you in the future about other agronomic topics from the Learning Center, and have a great week. Thank you.
Thanks for watching this video from the Gothenburg Water Utilization Learning Center. For more information, please call 308-537-4500.